Hi, my name is Shane. I use she and her pronouns, and this is the last of 4 sessions in a game of #iHunt by Olivia Hill and Philomena Young. The game is set in the 1980s using some setting material from one of the iHunt zines. These characters were hired to deal with someone killing suburban teenagers in their dreams. They, last session, took out an undead serial killer they thought was responsible, but now have learned there is a bigger threat, a corporate lawyer named Ronald Blakely, who is somehow connected to everything that's going on. This session and the series were organised as part of the Gauntlet gaming calendar. If you are not familiar, the Gauntlet is an online community that plays and talks about a whole lot of role-playing games, especially Indian story games. If you would like to find out more, or especially if you'd like to come play a game with us, check out gauntlet-rpg.com or at gauntletrpg on Twitter. I guess I'll also mention that we use safety tools for all our games on the Gauntlet. We have a list of lines and veils in the character keeper if any of you want to check on those. We're also using the X card and the open door if you need to use either of those tools. So we'll go around now and I will ask you to introduce yourselves and your characters. So for both yourself and your character, just name and pronouns and anything that we should know. And not for any particular reason, not likely to come up in today's session. I would love to hear what your character is most afraid of, just as a random prompt. So, Dana, could I get you to go first?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Donna. My pronouns are he, him. And tonight I will be playing Becca Winters, who is the last Slayer. I guess the final remnant of this whole Watchers Council thing that was union busted by Reagan and his cronies a few years ago. What is Becca most afraid of? I think this piece of information that she has just discovered in the brief that our evil lawyer has just has written about her is really kind of striking at the heart of her fear, which is that like the sacrifices of her watchers and her friends was kind of all in vain, and that like it's just a tool to for these kind of people like Reagan and Blakely to get what they want out of life. So yeah, I think this is probably going to hit her hard.
Oh, Sabine.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns, and yeah, I'm super tired today, but notwithstanding, I am playing Jaime, who uses he, him pronouns. Jaime is a blue coat collar magic man. He used to work in a car, an automotive plant where they build cars, but due to the fact that security regulations got loosened because of capitalism, he lost a hand, and then he lost his job, and now he's a janitor and hunts monsters for money and magic and giggles and things like that. Jaime is most afraid of debilitating illness because I think he lost his partner to a long running illness, and yeah, that's what he's really afraid of.
Fine. Thank you. Will.
Hi, my name is Will. I'm playing John Barron. Both of our pronouns are he, him. John Barron is a wannabe horror writer who is looking to be the next big thing in the paperback industry. He's heard of some podunk called Stephen King. He plans to beat him to the pip. And what better way to do that than to do some direct primary research in the world of hunting monsters? And you know what? It helps keep the lights on while you're doing it. And John's biggest fear is sharks.
Excellent.
Yeah. I toyed with being a bit more, like artistic and everything, but I think John just really is fucking scared of sharks, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's awesome. And Pocket.
Hey there, I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. Tonight I'll be playing Christian Starr. Who else uses he, him pronouns? Christian is a very sweet and fairly dopey guitarist in a hair metal band. Big himbo energy. He wields an axe. It's a ridiculous BC rich bitch custom. Multiple necks, multiple things poking out, and lots of sharp, pokey bits that have actually been sharpened and made pokier to better, poke things with. So his axe, his guitar, that is his actual weapon. And what's he afraid of? Lawyers. Except for that one public defender who got him off on the drunken disorderly charge that one time. That dude was all right.
All right. That's awesome. Thank you, everyone. So, I think that I did a little recap earlier. So where I want us to start off today is that we're going to open with the four of you and Dr. Nancy from the local hospital standing at the edge of the junkyard where the doctor buried the Dream King's remains 2 years ago. We sort of found out about this last time that she had survived various attacks by the Dream King. She had been sure that they had finally defeated him a couple of years back when they consecrated his remains and buried them in the junkyard. And on the drive over here, what she's told you is that to defeat these dream demons, you must confront their host both in the real world and the dream world simultaneously. That's what she did when she consecrated the remains while her allies battled them in nightmares. That should have worked, but as sure as she was that was going to put an end to the terror that has beset Western Hills over many years, as you all look out in front of you, you understand how the dream demons were released, because you do not see a junkyard where the junkyard should be. You see a construction site, and you realize that somebody is building condos where the junkyard used to be.
from Indian burial grounds to the burial sites of dream murderers, they always keep building on them. God damn it.
Dude, that's a little insensitive. It's like Native Americans, please.
What? It's the 80s.
Yeah, but we can still we can be respectful.
I don't think it'll catch on, Star. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I think you're really struggling uphill here.
Yes, that is absolutely our main problem right now.
So we have to confront them in the dream world and the real world at the same time.
We could split up.
If we need to confront them in the real world, we need a lawyer.
Well, I mean, do we even know who we're confronting yet? There's a Dream Emperor, but this new possessor of Dream Power, but who are they?
It's got to be that douchebag.
I thought it was the lawyer, actually.
Yeah. That's what I said, Jaime.
I mean...
Yeah, I know. Maybe I just listened to you. Maybe I just hit my head.
The lawyer, all things point to him, but I'm just saying, we don't have proof yet. We just know that he's doesn't like Christian's band.
So Dr. Nancy will speak up at this point and say, a lawyer? Is it likely?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got dossiers on each and every one of us.
He subpoenaed a whole bunch of records from the hospital connected to the previous murders just a month or so ago.
How did he get the records?
A court order.
Lawyer. So maybe it's not the lawyer, maybe it's the lawyer's client. I once starting to think what John said, maybe it was, that's what lawyers do. Actually, they do dirty stuff for their clients. They don't, they probably do them for themselves, but often they do them for clients.
Well, maybe, but now that I know that Blakely sees their records, I'm slightly less dubious about the whole guilt by association thing.
I don't think we should walk up to him and kill him, like, if we're not 100% sure.
Wait, we have to kill.
I didn't say
like,
that. No one said that. No one's recording anything. No one said anything, right? There's no lawyers here.
No, but you just said something about killing John.
I didn't say anything about killing anyone. No, well, I didn't say that.
We don't need to kill a person out here, do we? Like, it's one thing to like fight monsters and stuff, but
Yeah, but if he's a Dream King, he's sort of a probably wizardy dude, like using a magic user, and that's still magic users are still people.
oh my god. Think
Sorry.
about how huge my band would get if we killed like a wizard lawyer and like wrote songs about it.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't write songs about it if you killed a wizard lawyer.
Why wouldn't you? That's an amazing song.
That's against the law, Christian.
I think killing a wizard lawyer is probably fine. I think the lawyer part is the problem there.
I think you shouldn't. I think I have more problems actually with killing just a wizard, just for being a wizard, than for killing a lawyer for being a lawyer.
Listen, there's no law in the state of California against killing a wizard. I've looked.
You know,
I feel threatened now.
I just want to make sure we're
You're
killing...
an occultist. There's a difference.
What's the John? You're making up differences now. There's no difference. I use magic.
It's a hat. Hat and a staff.
John.
Although I don't think Discworld has come out yet, so that's
I don't think this. Yes, I see Becca over there. This is not fruitful. This is not useful. What we're doing here. Okay.
Okay. So
look, Nancy.
Listen,
you say that we need to...
this arsehole is going to destroy your lives to get his way. So it's like you or him, basically.
he is threatening my mom.
Okay.
That's not cool, man.
But maybe we can destroy him without killing him. Because
So-
magic is tricky.
We need
You
to...
can turn the magic against him.
You kind of have to. I mean, magic. It kind of has to go somewhere, right?
Oh, let's not noodle on where the magic goes, Christian.
Well, I was
The
just thinking.
magic was inside you all along.
No, I was just
Have we
thinking if
learned
like there's
nothing?
excess magic, maybe Jaime could absorb it or something like that.
Maybe I could turn it against him. He's not actually, John, I hate to say it, but I don't hate to say it. He's not wrong.
John just laughs at the idea that you hate to say that Christian's wrong.
You know, Jaime, you say that almost as often as I do. I'm beginning to think that Christian is the most together of us.
But look,
Considering we are actually fighting a lawyer who's also Dream Emperor.
Maybe we're in a dream right now. That might explain how Christian is the one who makes the most sense amongst us.
Okay,
We
so
could do a ritual to find that out.
if we wake up and we all remember this, then does that mean that we were sharing the same dream?
Yeah, just like we did when we
This-
killed the Dream King.
this is starting to sound like the peyote trip I took last year. Okay.
Okay.
Where's
Round
peyote?
up. Let's just focus on what we need to do, right? We got
So wait a
so you
minute.
said you got to comfort him in the dream
So
and in reality, right? Those are the two things we got to do.
yeah, but who, John? Who? I think we have to
Blakely,
establish if Blakely is the Dream Emperor or if he's like the devil's advocate, right?
well, we need to find out
Oh.
mainly whether or not. Well, yeah, true, but confronting him in real life, like Nancy, you said, it's related to this nexus, right? Like the junkyard where they're building the condos on and things. So, if Blakely's involved in that project, right, that shouldn't be too hard to find out. We just take a public record office or whatever. But like that place is significant, right? Like that's where the confrontation in the real world needs to happen.
And in the dream world. And we can, I think, if Blakely is the Dream Emperor, there will be signs, because you can't do that without doing some sort of stuff to your aura. And I think I can maybe concoct a thing. You know, the old Irish, I knew an Irish guy on my old job, and they created a paste to put on their eyelids so they could see fairy stuff. And I think I can do something similar to watch auras.
Okay. Hey, Nancy, I had one question. The back at the crazy house. I mean, the kook house. I mean, I mean the asylum. I mean the hospital.
A hospital.
Yeah, that's the word. There was some place with like wards all around, right, Jamie? Like someone's cell. Who was that?
I mean there's a few we don't call them cells. A few of the rooms are warded from the last time we fought Wagner.
Oh, you put them there.
Yeah, I put them there. Like they won't hold out a dream killer forever, but you know, they'll provide some protection.
Okay. By the way, I'm very happy that she's become Nancy Martin. Because my notes already referred to her as Nancy because I didn't hear the name the first time, so I changed it into Nancy because I was like, that's the name of the character from Nightmare.
I was perfectly happy to roll with that.
Yeah. So, look. So we need to.
We can draw him out though, the Dream Emperor, because if we attack him in the dream, maybe he would need to come here in person to stop us.
You know
right?
what?
No.
We could actually put on my band could play a gig. Because he wrote that nasty letter about how he was going to do all this stuff. He'd probably show up.
He probably would if we all were here and it was clear that this gig was part of some sort of ritual, because if he is the Dream Emperor, he would want to do something about it because he doesn't know everything we can do. Maybe we can trick him into thinking that we actually can do more than we have.
You know what? Those kids that I met around the corner at the 7-Eleven, they could play. We could call it like the Never Sleep Again festival or something like that.
I'm not sure if we want to put kids in danger, Christian.
They're already in danger.
Fair point.
I mean, at least they can go out with guitars in their hand.
We could just burn down the construction site.
Well, they'll just build another one. They'll just do something else to like disturb.
And then they can sick the cops on us.
Yeah.
If they catch you.
I think John's writing a prison novel next. Yeah. This is next stage in research.
Hey, I thought you were the chosen one, Becca. What, the chosen one like suddenly follows the municipal code?
I mean, it's not municipal, it's criminal.
Yeah, whatever. Star.
Anyway, torching this thing doesn't get us what we wanted. It gets us the fire brigade and the cops, and not the lawyer trying to stop our ritual going on.
Yeah, and it gets us arrested.
Listen, I mean, there's no way of confronting Blakely in the real world that doesn't run afoul of the law, right? He's a lawyer. No one else believes in this shit.
Well, John, what I'm saying is if we're going to break the fucking law, let's have an effect. You know?
Yeah.
Because if we burn down a condo, it doesn't make the gravesite or whatever the hell is here any less disturbed. I mean, they rebuild the condo when we're rotting for 10 to 15.
Let's just get
I
a
have faith in
flatbed
your
truck.
ability to set fire to an empty construction site without anyone finding it, Becca. You're the chosen one.
Yeah, but what will it get us? What will happen if we set fire to it? What's the positive
what will happen if someone plays a concert?
We draw the lawyer
out. We draw him out.
We know where he lives.
But we need him
this way we do it on
here.
our terms.
We need him here. We need to confront him here. And we need to confront the Dream Emperor here, because it's significant place. That's the thing. That's why we need him here and not at his own place where he probably has a.
We got to do this at the same time, right, Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's
So
right.
whatever happens, we're going to be splitting up for this one. Now, since we're not burning things down, I volunteer for the dream thing.
Mhm.
Now, who's with me, and who's going to do whatever cockamamie scheme we're going to do to take care of the threat here in the real world?
I think I could help with the dream stuff.
I think that you could help with the dream stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering whether it'd be better to have, he leans into Jaime, one brains and, one brawn on either team.
And Jaime
John,
leaves
what
her back
are
up
you
and
going to do
says,
sitting here in the cafe waiting for us to do the two jobs? I
yeah,
mean,
and which of
bucket
these
do
are
fit
you?
into?
Also, I really don't appreciate you talking about Becca like that. She's a lot smarter than I am.
It's
I
a
agree,
low bar.
Christian. I really agree.
Bar.
But I'm just thinking, Becca, you fought in, well, metagame wise, whatever, right? I'm probably leaning towards if Dona wants to do the dream thing as well. Like, I think the only team up we haven't had is Becca, John,
Yeah.
Jaime, Christian.
That's right. Yeah, let's team up like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take Becca because she is experienced with dream fighting anyway, and I stay with Christian just to make sure that this Dream Emperor lawyer person doesn't just magic Christian up and turn him into a actual Christian reborn Christian.
Oh my God.
What, like Striper?
My worst nightmare. Yeah.
Right.
But I might, so like, suppositionally, perhaps there is going to be some sort of occult element to the physical confrontation as well, right? And it makes sense to me to have someone who knows that stuff to hand in cases like, oh, this was where the Native Americans, the Imawate tribe or whatever fictional thing, did their dream walking, and here is the veil between
Dream
worlds.
walking
kind
is
of
an
thing.
Australian indigenous thing. Just saying.
Yes, but Wes Craven doesn't know that.
I mean, John is never one to let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, that's considering he's a writer. That's a fair point.
True. Listen, whoever wrote this story is a complete hack.
Well, okay. I'm not a literary critic. I have no opinion on hacks or otherwise. So, okay.
We need to work out a way of
Communicate.
we can dream, but how do we get him to come after us? Because so far, he's been preying on those kids.
Oh, I have an idea about that.
And you will tell us that, or?
Oh yeah. Nancy, does this Ronald Blakely have any kids?
Yeah, so actually, Ronnie, one of the kids that hired you, is.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
And are we still at the hospital, or are we at the cafe?
So you were at the junkyard, but I guess you might have gone back to the cafe to plan, or wherever's convenient.
I say, Ronnie, I need a favor.
Christian.
No, trust me, this is a brilliant idea. I thought of it all myself.
Ronnie looks despairingly at the rest of you.
Call your dad up. Say you're really excited and you wanted to meet your new boyfriend, and then I'll show up. And I'll pretend to be your boyfriend.
And how does that get him into the dreams and attacking Becca and John? Exactly.
Well, he chases me, and then we rendezvous with Becca and John? Like meet up
They're
with
in
them.
the dream. We're in the real world. We
Yeah,
need to get them both in the dream and in the real world.
right. This is what I'm saying. So, after he chases us, we'll like go to wherever, John and Becca are. We'll all fall asleep, and then we can deal with both of them at the same time.
I don't think that will work. Also, I'm really skeptical about him being the Dream Emperor because Ronnie was attacked and she's his daughter. That doesn't, I mean...
So, Ronnie will say when you say that, like, I guess I wasn't technically attacked. I saw my friend get killed. I was scared, but...
Okay. But the dream guy didn't attack you.
Yeah. But my dad barely leaves his office. I don't really think, I don't think that he's going to be interested to come and meet my boyfriend or anything like that.
Barely. Jaime,
Huh?
isn't there something about places of power?
Mm-hmm.
He spends all his time in his office.
Well, maybe we can burn that down.
Okay, listen. I totally know how to make Molotov cocktails. We used to do it back to like when we were trying to like get our flame pots right. So I like where your head's at.
I don't know. But you know what? We need to get him out of there. If this is his place of power, we need to get him out of there.
And my boyfriend, he's a hair metal guitarist named Christian, will definitely get his hackles up and him out of his office, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
No, that will just get him to call the cops because Christian is not. Because I think she is. Technically, there is an age difference that. No, don't do that, Christian. You don't want to go down that road.
No, we don't have to do anything.
My boyfriend, Christian Starr, and he has your file, Christian. He doesn't have to come out to get to you. He knows a lot of stuff, and you said they threatened your mom. So don't put yourself in there. Because you're not just putting yourself on the line.
You're totally right, Jaime. So what's your idea?
My idea is the thing that you said. We start doing the thing at the construction site, right? And we do a ritual thing, and it's big. And I think he will have to go check it out because he needs this place for something.
All right, so let's get a flatbed and maybe you can magic up our speakers or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So we can hear the music both here and in the dream. I can do that.
I was thinking maybe make it a ward against ghosts or evil spirits or something like that. But sure, you know more about this stuff than I do. I just hit stuff.
Okay. So that's the plan.
So does that mean we're calling together the whole of Lipsticks for a performance in the construction site at the edge of town?
Indeed.
Finally, we get to see all of them.
Yeah. So, I guess we'll just get you to roll one time to create an advantage for, the advantage being like the I guess the power of metal. I don't know.
Sure,
something like
works.
that. I'm not sure. I'm happy either for Christian or for Jaime to roll to create the advantage because you're both working together. I know there's a help rule in Fate, but I do not remember how it works.
If we have the same skill, I can give him +1,
right,
or vice versa, but I don't know if we do.
So
otherwise I can just cheer him on.
Here's a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like organizer might be a decent skill to use.
Yeah.
You also have occultist, so that would work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it kind of boils down to do you want to roll? I'm totally okay with that if you do.
No, it's your gig. You get the role,
Okay.
and I'll help you organize it.
All right, so let me double check something real quick here. Yeah, you have organizer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm imagining that as this happens, we get this montage scene where Ronnie and Heather, in particular, maybe Becca and John helping out as well, are just spreading photocopied flyers all around town for this last-minute lipsticks gig at the construction site, and making very sure to hand deliver copies of this flyer to Blakely's office.
Yeah,
and we put occult symbols on the flyer that relate to dreams. Just
yeah. Like something that the Dream Emperor would definitely recognize.
Yeah.
Right.
Would surely know.
Also, I totally want to invite my boss, Dennis.
Well, I mean, you would have had to go to the coffee shop anyway, right, to make these flyers. So we'll see if Dennis turns up.
All right, so I was looking at bad reputation to bump it up, but unfortunately, you don't have fighter. So I will stick with organizer so you can boost if necessary. All right, so this is...
So I think difficulty 2.
All right, and organizer for me is 3.
And also, I feel like kicks ass refers to actually physical violence and not just being cool, because otherwise
my reputation is someone who kicks ass.
Yeah, but still, it's not because otherwise you can always use it.
It's a 5 anyway. So
yeah, so
okay,
that's a success with style.
Nice.
Of course it is. I'm the band cop. I'm the one who tells everybody when to get wherever they need to be.
All right. Is it cool if we call the aspect the power of metal?
Yes.
That is absolutely cool. Unless you want to call it the touch.
The touch?
You've got the touch. You've got the power.
All right. So we've heard what Christian and Jaime are doing to get ready. Are there any preparations that Becca and John are going to make, or just sharing some downers?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like how we can make sure we don't just fall asleep and dream. You know what I mean? Like, how do we have him come after us? Because before we had his targets, whereas now...
Yeah, I mean, you still have an aspect called the two-way dream connection with a free invoke left on it.
Yeah.
So just like out of the game for a sec. I'm not gonna we're going to a climactic scene, so he's gonna. I know
he's gonna turn up. I'm just trying to come up with a fictional way of saying that.
Fiction,
yeah. I think it is. I mean, I guess the thing that I'm having is that, like, if he shows up in the real world, how is he also asleep at the same time?
Oh, he must have some
sort of weird dream powers, of course.
Do you think that the thing to draw him in is for us to like have a dream or nightmare about exactly what's in his dossier? So that the thing he is planning to do to us is the thing we kind of most fear, apart from sharks, obviously. So sharks and lawyers are.
You drew him in with like great. You drew in Wagner with like great fear by prompting the Max to think about public speaking.
Yeah. Okay, so who's going to be most scared?
Fine, it'll be me. I'm the chosen one, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Becca.
Although, you know, what pisses me off most, right, is that for all of you guys, he's just going to destroy your lives. But for me, he's going to give me back. He's not actually threatening me with a bad time.
No. And isn't that a really scary thing, Becca? How easy it would be. How tempting.
Yeah, for me to
Yeah.
like work for him and chop off your head and not
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
prison for it.
Yeah, of course. See? And, you know, what would the Watchers think, though?
What Watchers?
Exactly.
And
What
what
a
do you
night! What
see
a
that makes
nightmare!
you realize that you've fallen asleep in the middle of this argument?
I think the I think John's kind of satchel messenger bag is open, and I see the spine of a Stephen King novel poking out of it.
Yes, that new little known book, Carrie, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm just copying over a new tab into the Keeper for the final confrontation. I'm just going to drag it along so that it's on the left-hand side of the Keeper.
it doesn't tend to happen, but it's really storming here in Manchester. So if I drop off, that's why.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know. All right. So, I mean, I think that Christian, you should be the one to describe like what's happening at the gig as Blakely's limousine pulls up.
We're still tuning up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so not too many people have arrived yet, or is there a crowd?
Oh, there's a crowd, but we're still tuning up because we're professionals. We're making sure everything is perfect. I mean, Blaze is mostly just counting the number of scarves on his mic stand, but and they say drummers can't count past 4.
So my intent here is that even though there's 2 separate scenes, we'll just run it as if it's one combat, and we'll use the initiative order to like bounce back and forth from the dream world to the real world. So you do see this very fine, expensive-looking. Oh, sorry, Jaime, do you want to say something?
Before we start, I mean, these guys are tuning up because I'm not a musician, right? I'm a blue-collar magic man. So I really would like to, I think what I would like to is to make some magic happen, right? To kind of, how do I say? To get some control over the dream, because I had the sweatbands, but I think that they were last time's seen. So just a bit of control over the dream.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have that in the tab, but I will add it because you don't have any free invokes left on them. But the
sweatbands
they're definitely still an out there.
They're still there. Okay, then I don't need to do anything. Then I just need to chill out and try to mix up. Oh, no, I do need to do something. I need to do the speakers because I want that rock music to be in the dream world. And I'm really good with making stuff, right? And with occult stuff. So
so I think that's what we did with the create an advantage for the power of
That's true. Yeah, fine.
Right. Cool. So John and Becca, are you planning to have your final confrontation in the dream world in the dream version of the cafe, or do you want to go to the dream version of the junkyard? Like, just interested, like, fictionally, in what sort of backdrop we're going to have for your scene.
Where did Becca train? Like, was there like a Watchers like HQ, like mansion, or like a library, like the Scooby Gang library, or like I'd love to start off in like like perhaps like not just a Stephen King novel, right? But the really thing is that we're back where like you're scared of what was taken away from you or something, right? Like,
yeah, I think it's probably something like the
Sunny Jail.
something like the back hall of a kind of community center or kind of church center, which is like kind of looking like it's a very small gym. Maybe they do yoga classes in there at the weekends or something. But no, on the weekends or on the weekdays, or it's Slayer practice, right? So there's there's a cubby hole that you can open up, and in a normal place it would be full of gym equipment, but it's actually full of slayage equipment.
Nice.
No, I'm just going to add slayage equipment as a aspect. So Blakely arrives simultaneously in his limousine at the concert in the construction site and at the hall with where the Slayers used to train. There's a weird symmetry in the layouts of these spaces. So he climbs up onto the stage in both spaces at the front of the hall, picks up, sort of gestures to you, Christian, if it's okay for him to use the microphone for a moment.
Sure.
Yeah, he takes it, taps it, makes sure it's working. He's wearing a very fine and expensive Valentino suit with a red and green striped tie. And he says, so I believe I'm broadcasting now both to the construction site and the dream world. This is very fine work. Very, very well done. Nice to put some faces to your names. I suppose that I don't really have anything to lose by just telling you all what's going on. I mean, who's going to listen to, well, a bunch of metalheads, bunch of washed up monster hunters, whatever you are. I don't mean to be rude. I'm not trying to antagonize you. I'm really excited for us all to work out a resolution that will be mutually beneficial for all of us. I need you to understand. I am on track here to make partner. If I can acquire the remaining properties in the Western Hills development at a real saving. So all I've done is to make sure those homeowners are highly motivated to sell. And believe me, one or two more dead teenagers and they will be highly motivated to sell. Everything was going fine until my idiot daughter. Are you out there, Ronnie? Yeah, I see you. You idiot. Hire some monster hunters. Couldn't you have just studied? You're going to be in Yale Law next year. Yeah. Anyway, look, Christian, Mr. Gutierrez, Mr. Barron, Becca, I think it is. I understand that you need to get paid. So just tell me what your daughter promised you. I'll cover your fee. I'll even add a generous gratuity. What, 10%? 20%? You really drive a hard bargain. But are we done here? I'll write a check. We can all go home.
Yeah, and bring the teenagers back to life, Mr. Thingy. That would be then we'd have a bargain. Sure.
You know, it's funny. A friend of yours, well, an acquaintance of yours, more a friend of mine, really, Professor DePiver says that you have a book with a lot of information about bringing someone back from the dead.
Yeah, I saw that. That is not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I don't know that we're going to be able to make ourselves a deal here because you know very well that dead is dead.
Astonishing how that works, right? Sometimes you can't just talk your way past the consequence. And buddy, we're the consequence. And I feel that is the part where Crystal should play a riff or something.
I will hit, an absolutely massive power chord and just let it reverberate. Because what Jaime just said, that's the kind of badass shit you only hear in like action movies. That's awesome.
Nice. And you see him like sort of cringe or hunch down as this riff block rings out. He says, "Fine, we'll do this the hard way."
It's a metal concert, so that tracks.
But he will pass the microphone back to Christian because obviously this is Christian's moment rather than his.
I'm just going to walk.
He may be a monster, but he's not a savage. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to walk through the speakers and let the feedback do the work here.
So as you do that, you also realize that his security guards have stationed themselves on either side of the stage, ready for whatever may happen. In the dream world, John and Becca, you notice that there are these sort of horribly deformed little like dog-like things with human faces that are sort of growling and advancing towards you. Becca, you also see, like, tell me about, what was the name of your best Slayer friend?
So this would be like the Scooby Gang person, or
Sure.
yeah.
Like, I'm
So
imagining more
I
like
think-
the Faith analog, or someone who was a Slayer as well.
I was going to
okay.
say hope or belief, right? Like, yeah.
Oh god, let's go for a similar but unaligned name like Joy.
Joy.
Oh, okay. That was
All
her
right.
mother,
That was Joyce.
Joyce. There we go. Yeah.
All right. So Joy, the second last Slayer, also manifests in the dream world and starts heading towards you. Look, maybe we'll just take our first break here, and then we'll come back and we'll have a big climactic scene. That sounds good.
I think as the dogs and the dead Slayer friend approach from the Dreamlands is a good point to cut, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So 10 minutes?
Yep. Cut to
Sure.
commercial.
Happy belated Thanksgiving, by the way, Puckett.
No, thanks. I don't really celebrate it, but
Why would you?
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like, when I was able to work, I definitely took the time off.
Yeah.
We
Guys,
cook and stuff.
speaking of taking time off, I got to open the door out because I feel my brain coming on, and if I don't want to spend tomorrow lying in bed, and I have to go to bed now.
Feel better.
Yeah, thank you. And I feel that maybe Jaime gets overwhelmed by his fear either, or he's doing some magic bullshit. Or both. So
Jaime's back on his magic bullshit again. Okay.
yeah, I think magic bullshit is probably it. So good luck. Kick this guy's ass. Make him regret his life choices, all of them.
We will.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm proud.
See you soon, Sabine. Be well.
Right.
Good
Bye.
match, Sabine.
God, I know how bad my head hurts when I can't sleep. So
I'm always astonished that Sabine is able to do these kind of games.
right.
I very much appreciate everyone accommodating my request for just because I looked at my timetable this week and I was like, oh fuck, I'm going to be up until 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night, and yeah, it's not going to be.
I'm just shocked that raves still exist.
Warehouse Project, man. Manchester, still living large.
Manchester. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it sure should have set the dream thing. It would have been in the Becca's version of what was that place called in Buffy?
The bronze.
The bronze. Yeah. We should have said it in the silver. Whatever. Right? Yeah.
Well, who's to say the dreamscape doesn't shift, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, the dreamscape definitely shifts. Whatever you want to see, you will see in the dreamscape. Yeah, all right. So, sorry, I realized I was muted before. Now I feel bad that Sabine didn't hear me saying encouraging things, but
I'm sure she felt them anyway.
So, Christian, you were leading off with a big riff, but do you want to just take the first turn in the climactic scene anyway?
Oh, sure.
Whether that's a riff or an attack or whatever it is.
Well, I think it's both. I think that, since Christian is in his element with amplifiers and speakers around, he's largely going to be fighting using, the little known martial art of guitar feedback.
Nice.
And solos.
And are you going to target Blakely or the security guards that are coming at you?
So, This is one of those times when you need to just like kind of power game it and create a bunch of advantages and stack them, right, Will? Okay. So in that case, I'd like to create an advantage using guitar feedback with the fight skill. Is that fair?
As long as you use the fate point to get the fight skill, that's cool.
Okay.
I think difficulty 2 again.
Alrighty. So and we refresh to 4, correct?
Sorry, you refresh to what? Yeah, you start the session with however many fate points your refresh is.
Gotcha. Done. All right. So 4.
Right. So that's a success. That's going to get you guitar feedback with a free invoke. If you wanted to spend an aspect, that would get you a second. Sorry, if you want to spend a fate point to invoke an aspect, that would get you a second free invoke.
I think we're good with the 1.
All right. And then who do you want to pass the initiative to?
Oh, let's go with Becca.
Right. So, Becca, sorry, I've already forgotten what we named the second last Slayer.
Joy, right?
Right.
Because then, when I final move her, my final words over her, like slowly dissipating corpse in the dreamscape, can be something trite like "she always was such a killjoy," right?
Nice.
So
Awesome.
there you go.
And what do you do?
So, like, we're like, is she like? I know she's an opponent as a player, but is that evident in the dream, or like?
Yeah.
Is
So
she gonna take?
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at the final chapter tab, her aspects are the last person you trusted, and that's not really your friend. So I think it is immediately apparent to you that that might look like Joy, it might talk like Joy, but that is not the second last Slayer.
Okay. So I think I put my hand out and I pull out this training frame, which looks like a 10-foot tall troll or something like that, made of this really white oak, something incredibly strong and tough. And it's kind of in between us, and maybe we're stalking around, just kind of jockeying for position a little bit. And I think I'm gonna set up for a feint, right? I'm gonna do some kind of a cartwheel kick into the frame, and I'm gonna break that impossibly hard wood and send splinters into her face, right?
Nice. So that's creating an advantage, right?
Yeah.
So I think that she defends against that without a skill. I think it makes sense. So go ahead and roll to create an advantage.
Fight, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
All right, that looks like it's going to beat her, because I don't think that she'll use the edge for this. All right, so you've succeeded with style. So is Splinters the name of the aspect?
Yeah. And I think there's obviously a shower of splinters that kind of makes her dodge or whatever. But I think to make it so we can invoke it more than once, maybe some of those splinters pierce her body or into her arm or something like that, just to give someone some leverage on her.
Sure. And sorry, I know that you have some sort of stunt that's to do with fainting. How does that work?
Yeah. So when I create an advantage by delivering a fake attack to put my opponent off guard, taking an additional free invoke.
Cool. All right. Cool. And you're going to want to pass the initiative, just bearing in mind that you don't want to let them end the round with the initiative.
Yeah. So we have 3 of them. And then
you have John, 4 of them.
4 of them? Oh, okay.
Ronald himself, the security, the law grads that are the lowly dog-like things that are attacking you in the dream, and
Okay.
Joy.
Okay. So let's go law grads next.
All right. So the law grads are both going to come for John. So they're going to each make an attack roll. Let's see. So they're going to roll to fight at +2. So the first one is going to hit a 3, and the second one is going to, let's see, it's going to be a 4. So, John, you need to let's make it simpler and just make it 1 defend roll using athlete.
Using athlete. Okay. I'm only got a +1 in athlete. But we refresh our fate point, don't we, up to 5 again at the start of the session?
Up to whatever your refresh value is.
Yeah.
So just start by rolling making an athlete check to defend, and then we'll see if you want to add any aspects to that after.
Well, I was going to try and come up with a weirdly relevant factoid so I could use my trivia buff to exchange athlete for academic and have a flat +2 on the roll.
Okay.
Purely because I'm in dreams, right? So I feel like
something Jungian maybe about the symbolism.
Yeah. I think it's it's literally that. It's like the hounds of your subconscious chasing after you, and the nimble psyche evades, maintaining a healthy id and ego to go ahead.
Amazing.
Yeah. All taken from a book by this little-known guy, PhD student Phil, or whatever, right? Like, although he's actually a monster, so I shouldn't have said him. Boom, 5.
All right, so you successfully defend both their attacks. You don't take any damage.
Yes.
But now they get to pass the initiative. Let's see. I think that they will defer to Ronald Blakely. Let's see, will he attack in dreams first or in the real world? I think that he wants Christian to stop this awful noise. So he is going to, on stage in the real world, take this kind of exaggerated Karate Kid style fighting stance. And he says, Christian, you didn't know I was a black belt in Taekwondo, did you? And he advances towards you, and he's going to attack.
Does he flip his tie over his shoulder as he does this? Takes a stance.
Surely. Oops, hang on. I've rolled. He should be rolling with the edge die. So that will be a. So he's rolled very badly. Christian, that's a 4, an attack roll of 4. Do you want to roll to defend using athlete?
Let's see. Can I roll with? Well, no. What's my athlete score at 1? Yeah, can I use my stunt bad reputation to defend with fight? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So that means that you're going to take 2 stress, or if you want, you can spend a fate point or a free invoke to bring that up to a tie.
All right, how many invokes do we have on the table right now?
There's quite a number of free invokes on different stuff.
The real story.
Which tab is it on?
The final chapter.
Okay,
yeah. Power metal, right? You should.
Yeah, power metal, like a touch.
Yeah.
I think I used another one of the real story.
I'll use a free invoke on the touch.
Okay. So that'll bring it up to a tie, so you won't take any damage, but he'll get a boost for next time. Do you want to use a second aspect to bring that up to an outright success where he won't get any advantage?
Oh,
If you, I would say if you used it, the real story was the one that I created with like all of John's like research into the backstory of all of this, and like I can't see a way of you really using that in the dream anymore. So if you use that here, maybe it's like, like, oh, there was a man and he killed a guy and he came back in his dreams and he took his power forever. He's an evil lawyer. Like that's using the real story, right? Like
yeah.
telling.
I'll use the
Oh.
real story, and
Okay.
I'll tell it in a song called "Dream Bacteria."
Whoa, harsh.
Puckett, the other thing I'm gonna suggest is, remember we have our selfies, which give us a +1, right? Which is maybe a little
Which
bit
is less than a +2, but would still give me to a success.
Yeah, that's right. Do you want to do that instead?
Oh yeah, I'll just use one of my selfies then because I haven't used any of them.
Cool. So what selfie does this remind you of?
I think it reminds me of that experience back in the cabin. Where we got sent into something by some douchebag who's trying to angle for power, and now we've got this other douchebag who's trying to angle for power. And as he fails, as he flails hopelessly, I look at him and say, more like Taekwondo, don't, dude.
Amazing. You just see the rage in his eyes at that. Disrespect Taekwondo, will you? But it's his turn, so let's see. He will pass the initiative to John. John, you're being attacked by 2 dream dogs that are law graduate students in another world. And Blakely's also there, as is Joy. What do you want to do?
So just looking at the dream world, as the dogs leap at me and leap at John. Sorry, just confusing just getting very blurred the lines between the metal world and the dream world. And they and John soaks it in and then unleashes the mantra as spoken to him by the whatever new age book he read about it, and the dogs are turned aside by those words. He looks at them and he's gonna say, so we're in a gym, right? And there's all of the
there's all this slayage equipment around.
Slayage equipment, and I am gonna I'm just gonna pick up an axe off the floor,
Sure.
and I am going to heft it, and then I'm just gonna like my editor always says, it's time for the final cut. And I'll throw the axe at them.
At one of the dogs?
At one of the dogs, yeah.
All right, so attack using fighter.
Yes, which I've only got a 1 in. But I got plenty of other stuff on the table. So that's a 1.
All right, so let's see what it rolls to defend.
Yeah.
Well, so you're going to succeed.
Okay.
If you want to use an aspect to bring that up to a success with style, you could take it out entirely.
Would invoking a selfie bring it up to a successful style, or would I need a +2?
So what are you at the moment?
I'm on a.
You only need another +1 to get a successful style.
Cool. I invoke the big mood of the flying furniture from the house. As I don't just throw the axe, but then like loads of like assorted like Slayer things just like get swept up in its wake, and it's just like a pelt of like a storm of implements heading towards this dog.
Nice. And you can pass the initiative to your choice of the security guards or Joy.
Let's go with Joy, because they're more interesting than the security guards, aren't they, really, at the end of the day?
All right. So Becca, as Joy
10 by
advances,
10, Becca, 10 by 10.
as Joy advances towards you, she is like monologuing about how she trusted you and you just left her to die. And she swings. I mean, is the stake like is a stake, or do we establish what the like signature weapon of the Slayers is?
I mean, I think we have of a total of 2 Slayer weapons so far. Both have been axes. So, I mean,
All right. So she is going to swing the axe at you. I don't think she's going to use the edge. So she's just going to make regular roll. Okay, so that's a 6 to attack. So you can roll athlete to defend.
That's pretty good. So yeah, I'm just gonna like swing out of the way, like dodge a little bit, like Muhammad Ali in the ring, right? Just to find my distance. I am a dodgy motherfucker, so anytime I use athlete to dodge an attack, I take +2. So that is
nice.
5.
Oh, all right.
See what the dice say.
All right, so that's a tie. So if you leave it there, she's won't do any damage, but will get a boost. Do you want to use a selfie or an aspect to bring it up to a success?
Yeah, I think I'm going to invoke the "How did I end up with these people" selfie, and it's like, that's not how I remember it. But then again, you're not Joy. You weren't there. I like the subtext, right? Is that, if Becca had been in a position to like sacrifice herself to save Joy, she definitely would have done it.
Wow. So that brings you up to a success. So she swings at you hard with the axe, but you manage to get out of the way. She looks like she's recalibrating. She's maybe underestimated you a little. She's not going to make that mistake again. Security guards will get the last turn for the round, and they are both going to draw pistols and shoot at poor Christian up on the stage. They don't like that you are singing this horrible song about their boss. They really need this job, so they're going to get 2 attack rolls at +2.
Security guards, it shows, you just want to be cops.
So we have one has rolled a 2, one has rolled a 5. So I mean, again, I'll just get you to make 1 defend roll against both of them.
All right, so I need to get to +7.
No, so you like, if you beat 2, then the first one won't hit you, and if you beat 5, then the second one won't hit you.
Okay.
So using athlete to defend, unless you want to use a stun.
Now let's see. Do I have any stunts that would make sense here? Okay. I'm just going to roll and see what I've got.
Sure. All right. So on that one, you're going to take 3 stress. Do you want to use any aspects to bring it up?
Let's see how much stress I can take.
Like, you can definitely take 3.
And is this divided between mental stress and physical stress?
No, this is all physical stress.
All right. And you said I'd have to take 3 stress?
Yeah, unless you want to use an aspect or something to increase your defense roll.
So I could just check the box for 3, correct? Or would I have to check 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, that's right. But physical, like your stress boxes are like not really tangible harm in the game.
Yeah.
They'll clear immediately at the end of the scene. It's when you start getting into consequences that's where you're taking like real damage.
I'll go ahead and take the stress.
All right, and the security guards will take their turn, and will of course pass the initiative to their employer. And you hear him scream out across the real and the dream world, saying, "This fool disrespected Taekwondo. Do whatever you have to. Don't let them live." And he will attack Christian again. He's going to come with a big
douchebag.
I mean, he's going to do a big like crane kick, like he's been watching too much Karate Kid. Let's see. He will use the edge, and he has what +1 for fighter. Wow, he's rolled very badly. It's a 2 to attack, so I think he might use one of his aspects because he really wants to hurt you. Let's see. So he spent a fate point already.
And this is going on in the dream world, correct?
Oh, this is in the real world. So he's fighting you up on the stage. I don't know. What aspect would he even use here? Maybe he doesn't have anything. I think that he's really struggling in the real world. So maybe, you just need to defend against an attack roll of 2 using athlete.
All right, let's see what we get.
Wow. So if you don't do anything, you're going to take 4 points of stress. You could spend a fate point to re-roll.
All right. Will, Donna, you're both more versed in fate. Is this a good time to spend a fate point to re-roll?
I mean, I have played exactly 3.5 sessions of Fate.
Will?
Yeah, I actually think you've probably played more Fate than I have, Bucket, but spend a fate point, because why not? We're in the last session, and we've got so many consequence boxes and stuff that, we can take the hits later on.
That's a terrible roll. It looks like it was definitely worth a reroll.
I mean, it's almost impossible for you to roll as badly as that again.
Almost impossible.
You sound like Lowell there, and that frightens because I'm playing Tachyon Squadron with Lowell at the same time. And he's like, there's almost no way you could fail. And it's like, oh, gee, thanks.
I didn't say no way you can fail. I said almost no way you can roll worse than that.
Yeah.
All right.
Not quite the same.
What Shane is saying is like the old school, just don't roll a 1, all right?
Okay, so that is better.
That is barely better.
It's true. So that's going to see you still taking 3 harm.
So let's see. How many selfies can I tag at once?
I think you can tag each selfie once per session.
Sure.
But you can use as many selfies on a particular roll as you want.
So if I use 2 selfies, that'll get me to no harm? Or would I need to use...
That will get you to 1 harm.
Okay. In that case, let me see the final chapter. Anything with checkboxes has an invoke left, is that correct?
Anything where the checkbox is marked. So if there's a tick, that's a free invoke.
Okay. Did the real story have 2 invokes on it, or just 1?
It did at some point, but at least one of them's been used.
Okay. I'll use the last real story.
Yeah. Just continue to taunt him.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, we're still playing Dream Bacteria, so.
I do like that Christian hasn't paused the song.
Oh yeah, I'm still just like, I'm wailing away on this at this point. And it's like, I think what you see is just my guitar. If anything happens, they kick my guitar and like maybe injure themselves because of all the spiky pointy bits and how metal it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets me to what, 1 damage or 1 harm?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And if I tag a selfie, that'll get me to 0.
That's right.
Well,
that'll be a tie, so he'll get a boost.
Okay.
Actually, he had a boost for this attack, didn't he? So, sorry.
You said he wasn't using anything.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. True.
And besides, I think I've succeeded against him every time. So I will tag the power of metal because I mean, I don't know what this dude listens to. Probably like easy listening or something
Paul
like that.
Weller? That's what I
He
was
prob-
imagining.
You think he listens to something as cool as Paul Weller?
I literally Googled like 80s yuppie music and Paul Weller was the top pick.
I mean, I'm figuring that he listens to something like Lights Out Jazz.
Could be.
You know, just like he likes that calm, mellow jazz, or like, you know, like James Taylor or something like that. Not that there's anything wrong with James Taylor, but it's definitely not metal. So I'm just shredding his face.
All right. So, I mean, I don't think this is particularly intentional, but this is working out well fictionally for you because he is much more effective if he fights in dreams than the real world. But Christian is so annoying to him that he's just like wasting his time with Taekwondo rather than using his nightmare powers.
In fairness, I'm probably annoying to a lot of people.
But he definitely at this point will pass initiative back to his security guards to follow up with their attacks on Christian. He kind of gestures at them and say, "Shoot him!" And they will both make their attack rolls again. So they do not have the edge. They roll +2. All right, so that's 1-0 attack roll. And so the attack rolls are 0 and 1. So Christian just rolling again to defend against the 0 and 1. All right, so you succeed without too much trouble. They're a bit overwhelmed by seeing you like mock their boss like this, so they're not really sure what to do.
Also, metal. But I gotta ask, why do these dudes suck so hard?
Well, they really need this job. They will pass the initiative, I think, back to Joy, who like hefts that axe again and is not going to miss a second time. Is going to use the edge this time, so I'm going to spend a fate point for that. He used it as well, didn't he? Oh, GM is running out of fate points. It's not looking good for the forces of evil. Let's see, D6, and she rolls it +4. All right, Becca. So that is a 7 on the attack roll. So roll to defend.
That's a pretty good roll.
It's not bad.
I mean, okay, it's a high total, I guess. It's the same roll as last time. So,
all right. So looking at 2 points,
okay.
she's going to spend a fate point to invoke an aspect here, bring her roll up to a 9.
Okay.
She really wants to hurt you.
Yeah.
She's going to use the aspect, the last person you trusted. There's just a moment where, you know, it's as if it's the old Joy, and that like just moment of losing your guard, lowering your guard, lets her get the tighter swing, the better angle. So you're looking at 4 harm here, unless you want to start stacking some aspects.
I mean, I can probably take some harm. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you could absorb all this as stress, right? You wouldn't even be taking a consequence.
Yeah. Although I also looking at this stunt I have, Pain Don't Hurt, where I can, anytime I take a major consequence, I immediately get the edge, which, you know.
Oh, well, that would benefit you significantly.
Yeah. But so, like, how do I get to take a major consequence in that? Do I have to run out of stress, or?
No. So when you take harm, you can choose whether to allocate it to stress or to consequences. So you see that like each consequence box tells you how many points of harm it absorbs. But when you take a consequence, you create an aspect that describes the kind of harm that you've taken, and your enemy gets a free invoke on that aspect.
Okay.
So does it say major aspect, major
It
consequence?
does. Which
I
doesn't
mean, I think
match
that's
up
got to
with...
mean, yeah, I think that must mean moderate, right? Like, let's just say that's what it means.
Okay.
So you want to take a moderate consequence?
Yeah, why not?
What do you want to describe it? Because we've got to give it a name as an aspect.
Yeah. I mean, I think like she's using an axe, and like I kind of am taken in by this kind of memory of her, and like I get my block up too late. So I think, you know, with an axe, getting your block up too late is worse than say with a sword or something, because, you know, the axe points out. So I think, I mean, like blinded in one eye or something like that. Like I get the block up too late and it you know, snaps into me. Like maybe it's just like swelling shut or something like that. Maybe it's not losing the eye, but
yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, it's something that's going to take some medical treatment. So I think like blinded in one eye might be like a broken orbital bone or something like that. Is that okay? We might be getting a bit close to one of our lines and veils actually. So let's just leave it there. You're blinded in one eye.
Yeah.
So he gets a free invoke. So she gets a free invoke on that for later. But you take the edge. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're taking 2 harm. So you're taking 2 stress as well, or you could take 1 stress and 1 mild consequence.
I'll take 2 stress. I got buckets of stress to take.
Fair. Yes. All right.
So I mean, someone in session 1 said, "Oh, I see we have a meat shield." You know, so I guess that I'm living up to billing.
Okay, so I think that why don't you take the initiative, Becca?
Okay.
So your side has the edge now. You have 1 free use on it, or you can spend a fate point. Any of you can use a fate point as long as you hold the edge. And when you use the edge, you roll 3 fate dice and 1 d6 instead of 4 fate dice.
So I'm just looking at other people's fate points. Do people... Puckett, I think I might leave you the free invoke on that edge because you look like you're low on fate.
I have 1 fate point left.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend a fate to use the edge. So not the free use, just spend it as normal.
Yeah, I mean, you see this look on Joy's face like she realizes that she's fucked up. Now, the tide has turned.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm kind of leaping back and there's like, you know, I think I'm just spitting out blood because like the haft hits me in the mouth as well. But, you know, because I was bringing up my own axe, I'm just like whipping it away and disarming her and then just like swiping back to like put my axe straight through her heart.
All right, well, roll the attack. Ooh, nice. Let's see how she goes with defense. Oh no. Can she absorb 5 harm?
I mean, let's just there's like 3 splinters in her, right?
Oh yeah.
Which are of no use to anyone else. So
if you use those splinters, that will be enough to take her out.
Yeah. And
Sure.
they're on her, so
does Becca pull them out and then put them back in again?
Well, I think what happens is that the swing of the axe, which is going for a heart, it's the reverse end. So I'm like using something more like a hatchet than like a double-edged axe, and so the flat edge like hits one of the splinters and like drives it further into her, and then like a reverse blow does the same.
You're nailing her like through with the yeah.
I mean, I think you had a line ready to go for when you took out the second last Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, it seems kind of trite now to use the Killjoy line on her, but yeah, yeah. This is what it felt like to see your body after those vampires tore you to shreds. Joy.
And she discorporates back into the dream world. Becca, who do you want to pass the initiative to? John, Christian, and the law grad haven't had a turn this round.
So I'm kind of cognizant that last time we got completely swamped by them getting several turns in a row and then several more turns in a row. So that probably won't happen this time. So let's give John the chance to take out the last law grad. Yeah, let's do that.
Well, that's not
Cool. Then anything to get ahead. I'm gonna open my coat, reach into my pocket, and pull out a letter. And it's gonna be. I'm gonna dangle it in front. I'm gonna like, who's a good dog? Who's a good dog? Who wants a ticket to Harvard? Who wants a ticket to Harvard? Like, and peel it open. And I'm gonna use a grifter for that. I think.
sure.
Like, and I'm gonna. Perhaps I need to invoke something here. Like, it's just a dream or something. I guess.
I
Like,
think
I
it
don't
makes
know.
sense that you can just attack using Grifter in these
Okay.
circumstances. You like dealing mental harm rather than physical, but it's
Yeah.
a dream thing. So
Yeah, I'm just conscious of how great the dream thing is for like invoking fate, anything that you want in, like setting up any fictional positioning in fate is just like you're in a dream, you can say whatever happens, and I love it. That is a 2.
all right, so it has no skill that it can use to defend itself, so it's just gonna roll to defend. Ooh, that is gonna be 3 points of harm. So, do you want to describe how you take out the last of the log rights?
I think it comes in and I go like, right, now roll over, boy, roll over. And it rolls over, play dead. And like it's just making it completely like, I think it like somewhere a law grad wakes up, right, like in a cold sweat, like with a big smile on his face, like he's got everything he ever dreamed of. And then he realizes he's still in his crappy bedsit where he's not getting paid to do his internship at the Blakely's law firm.
All right. And the last person to take a turn in this round is going to be Christian. So what do you do?
Blakely is seriously bumming me out right now. And so I nod my head at Blaze. And Blaze looks over at Blakely and says, you know what? We are lipsticks. And we're not going to take it. And you hear that characteristic drum beat kick in. And we attack. And I'm actually like starting to fling my guitar around a little bit now. Like Steve Vai and David Lee Roth's Yankee Rose video.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going after Blakely. And I am using that free edge invoke.
Yes.
This dude has done enough to me and my friends. So that's +4 modifier, D6, and 3D fudge.
Oh, all right. So let's see whether Blakely can defend this. He's going to have to. So he defends this just at +1. Oh my! Yeah, he is definitely going to spend a fate point to reroll.
That's about as bad as you can roll.
That is as bad as you can roll. Yeah.
I mean, unless you have a 0 in a stat.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, with the roll itself. All right. So he will definitely roll again. All right. So let's bring him up to a 1. He's going to use an aspect here. Let's see. I think he's going to use the towering scaffolding. So he's going to spend a fate point. So the GM is all out of fate points now. He is going to. So like you've set up this stage in the construction site. There's scaffolding all around, and as he like reels back, he kind of pulls over some of it, so it starts to teeter and topple. You can't quite swing as hard as you would have liked because this stuff is falling down all around you now. And that will bring you up to a 3. So he'll take 7 points of harm.
Can he
Christian,
take 7 points of harm?
Yes, he can, but he looks very badly off now.
How much more damage do I need to do to take him out?
There is a significant amount still to go. Let me check. So he has 3 points of stress left that he can absorb, and he can take 1 minor consequence for another 2 points. So it would take 5 more points of damage to actually take him out.
All right. So I'm using the power of metal, obviously. And guitar feedback. So that gets us to +4. So I need to do what? 1 more?
Yes, and I mean, just to let you know, like you can obviously, if you want to use 1 more aspect, you can do that here. But it's also the end of the round, and you can choose to take the initiative again in the next round and make another attack action.
Or I could just use a selfie and take him out right now.
Sure. So what does that look like?
Well, it's like I'm looking at the demo tape, thinking about that one, and it's like this dude tried to crush my band. We are going to rule and rock. We're going to rock and rule. And this dude is trying to stop that. Hell no. Let the scaffolding collapse on him. And instead of holding back, I'm used to stages. I know which parts of scaffolding are vulnerable, so I start swinging at those parts to make the scaffolding collapse on him and bury him under probably several hundred pounds of metal and wood.
Nice. And I think that Jaime is like ready at this point to like say the incantations, over the collapsed scaffolding that will like block the dream demons and send them, back to hell or wherever they're going to go. And in the dream world, you see Blakely's body, hacked apart as these, axe blows from the guitar start to rend him, and then he seems crushed by something that you can't quite see from some other world.
I'm imagining like as he explodes, like the music comes rocketing out, and we can suddenly hear the concert of Christian like playing through the dream connection, right? Like
yeah, absolutely. You see his like suit start to ripple open, and the souls of the kids that he's killed are like churning beneath his skin and start to be released back to finally rest. And I think that's where the scene ends. So we pretty much just are going to have epilogues and stars and wishes to finish up. Do people want to take a short break first, or should we just go straight into that?
I'd rather just go straight into it, I think.
I'm cool with that.
All right. Well, Becca, why don't you start us off with an epilogue?
Yeah, I think we are maybe a week or so afterwards, if that sounds all right.
Sure.
And Becca still looks a bit of a mess. Her eye is like completely swollen up now, and like it's just bruising. And I think she is sitting in a Starbucks, drinking a terrible coffee. A terrible coffee scrawled Becky into it, right? And I think maybe she is dictating some notes to one John Barron. You know, like he's gonna ghostwrite some journal, her memoirs, I guess.
Nice.
Which are going to be eventually released as some sort of like faux Twilighty kind of book series, right? Like,
Awesome. John, what's your epilogue?
so you see John, he's being chased by something through the darkness, and then he turns and he screams, and it rips him apart limb from limb, and he suddenly wakes up, and he blinks, and then with a big smile on his face, he lights up a cigarette and turns over to a typewriter. And ever since that night, like, these ideas have just been coming thick and fast, like the words come like nothing else. And yeah, he's writing a screenplay of all of these nightmarish visions for some really, really like shitty 80s B movie producer to try and produce. It's going to be those movies that are so bad that they're good.
Awesome. Thank you. And Christian, what's your epilogue?
It's a few months down the road. Maybe even as far out as half a year. Lipsticks has broken up. The traditional creative differences. Translation. Blaze was an egomaniac, as most lead singers can be. But Christian, those kids that gave Christian the demo tape at the Sevi, they were really good. And their band Thrash Magnet is pretty amazing. So Christian has actually stepped into the role of a music producer and is helping them record their debut album. Just basically working the boards and starting to move out of just being the shredding lead guitarist that he thought he wanted to be, because he realized there's always somebody above the band. And he now wants to be the person who is at the very top of that pyramid to make sure bands don't get fucked like he almost did.
That's awesome. I am sad that Lipsticks broke up. So let's just finish up. Oh, well, hang on. I'll just end the recording here.